I know what you're thinking this morning. Oh, Colin's just going to rip into him. I mean, Baker Mayfield had a red zone pick. Ooh, that is a no-no. Baker Mayfield, 49.3 quarterback rating. Woo, that's terrible. 5 series, 1 field goal for Baker Mayfield. Those numbers, those are not very good numbers, and I don't care at all about numbers. He was a number 1 pick is the number I'm interested in. When you're a number 1 pick, I want you to be a Maserati, not a Mazda. Baker's a Mazda in the NFL. He looked overwhelmed physically. Doesn't have a great arm. Couldn't outrun a lineman. Nothing wrong with a Mazda. I've driven a Mazda. I like Mazda. But you pay $85,000 for a car. That's a number 1 pick. You pay $85,000. You bragging about the cup holder? Honey, we got cruise control. Honey, we got power steering. You paid $85,000, brah. You better be able to have automatic start. When you're making coffee in the kitchen, you push your key fob, that baby starts. So when you walk out in Cleveland weather, it is warm and toasty in that car. You better have sensors on the front and back. You better have a large display screen. You better have those large black rims. That's what $85,000 is. $85,000, number 1 pick. That's what Cam Newton is. That's what Andrew Luck is. That's what Carson Wentz, a number 2 pick, looks like. Okay, that's my whole point. The only number I care about is he's a number 1 pick. If you don't get wow moments from your quarterback in the first time you see him on a football field, then you made the wrong pick. Then take a pass rusher. Take a running back. Okay, I can make an argument. Saquon Barkley's not a number 1 pick, but you're going to get wow moments from him. That guy that Denver got, Bradley Chubb, you're going to get some wow moments. That's what you get with a number 1 pick. You pay $85,000 for a car, don't brag about a cup holder. You're all your standards are so low in Cleveland, you're racing to Twitter. Ooh, look at that slant pattern. That's the minimum. That's not what you brag about. If you pay $1,200 for a hotel room, I better get a jacuzzi on a balcony overlooking either the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean. If I paid $1,270 for a hotel room, I'm not going to go, hey, honey, we got free HBO. That's the minimum. You get that for $150 a night, maybe even Showtime, maybe even Netflix. Come on, man. This is my whole point on Baker Mayfield. That number 1 pick has got to be wow. Now, his career may not last forever because he gets injured. Maybe he's not as great as everybody thought he would be, but a number 1 pick is a wow pick. Like when you watch the games last night, Fletcher Cox treated Baker Mayfield like a stuffed animal. He was a little tiny. Could have fit him in his glove compartment. That's what I said about Baker Mayfield. He's going to be fine in this league. You're going to win games with Baker Mayfield. But is there a big gap with Baker and Tyrod Taylor? Does anybody think Tyrod Taylor would have been a number 1 pick? Anybody think Case Keenum would have been a number 1 pick? No. I like Teddy Bridgewater. He's not a number 1 pick. You got to give me big arm. So, I mean, I think what's happened in Cleveland is that Cleveland Brown fans' self-esteem is so low, their standards are so low, they just want a car that runs, that doesn't stall on the freeway driving to work, that lasts the entire lease. But when you watch Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson, you are getting wow moments for those young guys. I mean, Carson Wentz, when he came into this league, they played him in 1 preseason game in Philadelphia, then they never played him again. And then he opened up week 1, 2 touchdowns, 270 yards, and they won. I mean, they put him on the shelf. They're like, here's Carson Wentz. Holy good Lord. Never played him rest of the preseason. When you draft a guy number 1 like a Carson Wentz or a number 2 like a Carson Wentz, I want wow. They draft Carson Wentz. They were the pits. They were reeling. 2 years later, He's borderline MVP. He's in the Super Bowl. Remember what Bucky Brooks said on the couch here? Remember what Bucky Brooks said a couple days ago on the couch? Here it was.
When you take someone in the top 10, for instance, you've talked about Baker Mayfield being number 1 overall, and the expectation, the standard is different. When you take somebody in the top 10, the expectation is that guy's going to be the best at his position within the first 2 to 3 years of his career. He's going to be a top 3 or top 4 player at his position.
Do you see that with Baker? No, you don't. You are literally rushing to Twitter because he completed a slant pattern. Congrats on the cup holder. Congrats on free HBO. Have higher standards. Let me shift to this. Tom Brady's trainer, Alex Guerrero, banned from the team plane a year ago, is back on the team plane. Let's see, in the last year, Tom Brady said, Jimmy Garoppolo, I want him out of town. They trade him. Tom Brady said, OTAs, that's for everybody else. I'm going to skip them. Alex Guerrero, we're going to set a precedent. I get my guy in the plane. Win, win, win. Folks, this is sports in 2018. Tom Brady should get all of those. He should get all of those. We give NBA stars those. We're not going to give the greatest football player in the league one of those. Tom Brady has earned the right to special treatment. We give special treatment on Wall Street. We give it in politics. We give it in corporate America. We give it in the NBA. Whoa. We don't give it to the best football player in the last 10 years in America? He has earned it. He's not a guy that doesn't put in the time. He's not a guy you can't trust. He's not a guy that blows up locker rooms. When you've had power your entire life, it's hard to surrender it. The NBA has a much easier time allowing stars special treatment because the NBA has always been a players' league. So coaches don't walk in with the fist and the gavel. The NFL, though, no guaranteed contracts, has always run the league through its coaches and GMs. But the world's changing. Players want to talk politics. Players want to be empowered. Players want to have massive charities. Players go to play with other players. Players leave the town they grew up in. Players chase not just money, but rings and community. Why is the NBA and its fans so comfortable with that? And why is the NFL and its fans so uncomfortable with it? The NFL, it's 2018. Tom Brady is like, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo, get him out of here. LeBron could do that. OTAs, all pass. LeBron could do that. Trainer, get him in the plane next to me. LeBron could do that. You know, when the stepdad or the dad rules the family with an iron fist, my way or the highway, and then his son gets a job and does really well, maybe in tech, and by 24 years old, he makes more a year than dad's made in the last 10. And he doesn't have to listen to dad. Dad looks old and out of place, kind of silly. Everybody kind of whispers about dad. Bill Belichick's figured it out because Bill Belichick's really smart. Bill Belichick let him skip OTAs, didn't make a big deal out of it. Bill Belichick let him put Alex Guerrero right back on the plane and has not made a big deal out of it because Bill Belichick's smart. This is the minimum for the greatest football player that has played this game in 15 years. There has been no more impactful, important player. Even players, NFL Network does a poll every year. Players vote Tom number 1. This year, players voted Aaron Rodgers, like, if I recall, like 8 or 10. This is not pampering, by the way. Tom Brady is not being pampered. This is called extending your career. I know you're looking at it thinking, Wins for Tom. Wins for Tom. In your face, Belichick. No. This is 2018. This is what the best player in a league, including the NFL, should be allowed to get. A top trainer on the plane, a threat at quarterback instead of a draft pick to help the great quarterback. And he should not have to go to OTAs, nor should that guy ever have to play in preseason, though Brady wants to because he's got a bunch of new receivers. These are not outrageous claims. These are not outrageous asks. It's 2018. Give Bill Belichick credit. He's figured it out. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.